Hi, this is Mike Fifer. Today I'm going to show you how I have taken a Kadee number 708 HOn3 electromagnetic uncoupler and used it on Kato Unitrack. We're actually going to be mounting it in this 4 7/8 piece of Kato Unitrack, but it can be mounted in any length over this 4 7/8 inch piece. So you can put it in a 9 inch or a 7 inch, you know, whatever straight you want, you can mount it in it, and we're going to show you how. Okay, the first thing we need to do is you need to take a Dremel tool or knife or whatever your preferred method is, and we need to cut from rail to rail and remove 12 ties worth of material. So in other words, if you look at the side of the track there, you will see that in the center I've actually removed 12 ties, and you need to go just to the outside of the first tie and the 12th tie. Okay, after those 12 ties are removed from rail to rail, this is the kind of opening that you're expecting to get. It gives you, as you can see, a little bit of slack on each end to allow you to move it forward and backward as necessary and side to side to get it exactly where you're going to want it. Okay, at this point you can see that we have the coupler is basically locked into the track, but it still has some free play. Of course, this piece that I have already has some holes drilled right through here in the end where my thumb is. You won't have that obviously when you start out, but don't worry about that right now. Anyways, to align the coupler within the track, I go ahead and going to use the Microtrain's coupler height gauge, and I'm basically just going to slip it down on the track, and you can see that it'll hold the uncoupler away from both rails and in the center. And at this point you can actually hang on to this, and what I did is I put my thumb over the entire shooting match, slid it where I wanted it to go, and then using a number 52 bit, I went ahead and chucked up my drill and drilled these holes right down through here, and that'll allow you to screw this in place, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. Okay, at this point you can see that I've screwed the screws in, literally holding this in place like so. You can see that the screws go in, and I'll pull this off, and you can see that it's almost perfectly the right height, or is perfectly the right height, as well as perfectly centered, and if I hold it here, perfectly attached to the track. If I roll it back here, you're going to see that you may have to cut off the ends of those screws so that they don't protrude down into your road base, but it's no big deal, they're plenty long here. And then at that point what it's going to require is drilling a hole in the layout and simply mounting this down in there. Okay, now once you have the previous steps done, it's going to require cutting a 3/4 by 2 1/4 inch square into your road bed directly beneath where the uncoupler is going to go. So you're going to have to take some track measurements there and determine how far from the end of your piece of track you need to start making this hole. And once you get the hole made, we're going to have to come in, now that we've got this set up, and we're going to have to actually remove the coil, which is done by just removing the screw. You have the coil and you have the insert, you have the screw and the nut, and basically you're left with this. Now, of course, you don't want to let this flop around too much, because this will fall apart. But if you kind of pinch it together, maybe put a little piece of tape across here or something to hold it together. Once you make your hole, you'll be able to slide this. You'll be able to slide this right down through the hole and into place. Once you get it into place, you just slide the coil back up in the hole with the insert. Slide it back up into the hole. Put your bolt through. Put your nut back on. And I would just barely tighten that up a little bit with a screwdriver on the back and a pair of pliers on this side. Doesn't have to be overly tight, because as you can see, the coil free floats in there, but you want to keep these metal parts in contact with the plastic up above, because that's what holds it all together. And eventually your road bed would be here. This is down through, and you've got this in place, and in a minute I'll give you a demonstration of how it works. Okay, this is what my demonstration unit is. You can see that it's just a cardboard box with a hole cut in it with a couple pieces of track across it, plus the uncoupler, a Tech 2 transformer, and a small push button switch, which is actually hooked up here in the front. And now I'll give you a demonstration of how it works. Okay, here's going to be a little demonstration. Power on, power off, power on, power off, and you can see that it pulls them to the side real nicely, and the car flows through easily. Now to connect to the other car, apply power, pull away, reattach, apply power, pull away, go in. You can push the car, drop the car, come back, pick up the car. Works just like the regular uncouplers, except now you have electromagnetic, which is, I'm sure, a great advantage to most of us who want uncouplers on the main line. I hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions, give me a call or shoot me an email at fiferhobby.com. Thank you for watching.